latest B2B sales video. This week I'm going to run through 10 tips for selling SaaS straight from Cognism's SDR team. Get ready to learn from the best of the biz. Hi, it's Emily Lou here from Cognism, the world's best global sales intelligence platform. When it comes to selling SaaS products, the most important part is closing the deal, right? Or is it to get to the part where the prospect signs on the dotted line and becomes a customer? You need a lot of help along the way. That's where your SDRs come in. The old school view of SDRs is that they just spend all day cold calling, but trust me, they do a lot more than that. They're responsible for qualifying leads, outreaching onto multiple platforms, and setting up meetings and demos. Lead generation can't happen without them. But here at Cognism, we know how difficult this role can be. SDRs face a daily rejection and they have to work very hard just to make that one sale. According to research from Gartner, it takes an SDR 18 dials just to connect with a buyer. So if your team are struggling to connect, what can you do to turn things around? Well, we asked our incredible SDR team for their top tips for winning sales, and here they are. Starting with tip 1, understanding your customers. Our first tip comes from Ashley Collette, our enterprise SDR, and he says that you must understand your value proposition by understanding how your current customers use your platform. To get this right, our advice is to talk to the customers that you've got already. Ask your CS team for a list of your happiest customers and set up some meetings. Tip 2, smile and dial. Our second tip is from Annabelle Jones, our mid-market SDR, and her tip is enthusiasm, energy, and smiling. Lots of smiling. It's been the single best way for me to build rapport and in turn book a meeting. Smiling over the phone might sound a little strange, but Annabelle has generally had prospects tell her that they love that they can tell that she's smiling when she's speaking, even without seeing her face. Getting your prospects to laugh makes them forget about their job, relax, and forget that they're being cold called. It's the best way to get your prospects to open up and engage with what you're saying, so try it for yourself. Smile and dial. So moving on to tip 3, don't talk, listen. Our third tip comes from Jenny Gray, our senior SDR, and she says that active listening books meetings. If you're thinking, Emily, what does that mean? Let me explain. It means that on a cold call, you should let your prospect do most of the talking. Listen closely to what they have to say and only ask them open-ended questions. That's questions that could only be answered with a yes or with a no. Active listening will help you understand your prospects' needs, adjust them one by one, and book more meetings. It is SaaS sales gold. Tip 4 is leverage online video. Tip 4 comes from Hattie Purcell, our superstar SDR, and she says that video makes prospects value you and your time more. Using video humanizes a cold message, puts a face to the name, and makes you stand out from a crowded inbox. Everything an SDR would want and more. Our top tip for getting started is just to block some time out of your calendar every day to record some video messages, and don't think you need some fancy video technology to do it right. It can all be done literally from your phone. So going on to tip 5, send voice notes on LinkedIn. Our 5th tip is from Ed Arnold, marketing development rep here at Cognism, and he says that sending LinkedIn voice notes is an easy and time-efficient way to get your personality across. It really works for me. Sending voice notes to prospects on LinkedIn is a great alternative to a cold connection message or sending a scripted message via email. But Emily, what are the benefits? Simple. It personalizes your outreach. The prospect will get a more of a feel for who you are, and that way trust and rapport will grow more quickly. Tip 6 is remember your ABCs. Tip number 6 is from Katie Mason Jones, also in our MDR team, and she says that you should always be aiming to ABC. Always be closing. The number 1 tip for an SDR is to close, so stay focused on it always. Here's An example, if a prospect says they're not available or now's not a good time, you can reply with, okay, no problem, when works. Then send across a calendar invite and let the prospect know that you're looking forward to chatting with them. Always turn an objection around and get that meeting booked. Tip 7 is prospect to companies, not people. Our enterprise SDR Ashley Collette is back with our 7th tip, and he says that hot tip for SDRs, prospect to more than one person at an organization. Well, when you're cold calling a company, it is likely that the first person you speak to may not be the right decision maker that you are after. And if you're wondering, what do I do then? It's very easy. Ask the person who the decision maker is. Chances are they'll be able to point you in the right direction and give you some valuable information. And they may even put a good word in for you. Tip 8 is keep learning. Annabelle Jones is back with tip number 8, and her tip is to listen back to your best and worst calls. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? Get into a constant cycle of learning and improving. I love this tip because if you're an SDR making 100 plus calls a day, think about all the things you could learn from them. Record your calls, play them back, and make notes on what you could improve or change up. Don't be afraid to get your whole team involved as well. You can create a Slack channel and share your best and worst calls. It's a great way for you to all learn together. Tip 9 is to keep on top of your admin. Katie Mason-Jones is back with our 9th tip for winning SaaS sales, and her tip is to make detailed notes so you don't forget anything. If you want to ace being an SDR, you need to get organized with your admin. Block out a day to focus on tasks like cold calling, LinkedIn prospecting. Take lots of notes on your cold calls and remember to log everything in your CRM, and remember to use plenty of post-it notes. You never know when those small details will help in closing a sale. Our final tip for winning at SaaS sales comes from Ashley Collette. He said that persistence is key. If you make $100 a day and don't speak to someone, keep going. It will happen. I think this is the best advice you can give to an SDR. Never, ever give up. If you're having a bad week, don't let it drag you down. If you've had 100 bad calls in a row, don't throw in the towel. Trust me, the next one may change your life. All you need to do is pick up the phone. Anyways, I really hope you got a lot of value from our 10 SaaS sales tips. Thanks to all our SDRs for sharing their knowledge. If you want even more tips, tricks, and hacks for selling SaaS, then check out our cold calling playlist. You'll find all the links in the description. And that's it for me. I will be back soon for more unmissable SaaS content. Before I do go though, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you got any questions or feedback, then leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See you next time.